Hey everyone, this is second episode of Cooking with Ruchi. Today I decided to show you how to make spicy bread. Right now I'm cutting some onion. I think they're called shallots. So I'm just slicing them and then putting them in a blender and mixing them until they're nice and soft and amazing. And then I fry them for a few seconds there. But right now I'm trying to figure out how to fix this. It's like hard and tricky, but turns out I forgot to plug in the plug. Sometimes you forget things. But I never actually use this. This is the first time using a blender. And it's pretty small and cute and unique. And it saves a lot of time in having to blend it just by hand. So my assistant is helping me fix this, make it nice and complete. And yeah, it did blend at the end, which is probably the most satisfying part, I think. And it's just so calm and relaxing just to see it blend. Just frying some of the stuff here on low heat and just making sure that it turns brown. This is really good for taking off the sort of like pungent flavor that the onions give and everything else, and sort of mixing it in a way that is soothing and calm. And yeah, enjoy that. If you can see the steam right there, then that means it's working. That means it's doing its job. And yeah, I really love this process. It's really calming and amazing. And hope you're enjoying this cooking video. So yeah, keep on cooking. Add in a little salt here for the mixture because I forgot to put it, and I just dumped it and then stirred it for a few more minutes just so that it's blended and nice, so then it actually has some taste, it adds some flavor. You don't have to put too much salt, but then put a great amount. So yeah. So now it's all ready here, just getting the mixture ready for the thing. So first we're gonna put some honey there in the thing, in the bowl, and then gonna put some sugar just so the yeast actually grows, and then it actually makes the bread 2 times the size, so which is really good for if you're making bread. And yeah, follow this recipe, and I'm going to add the sugar here right now. You don't have to put too much, but you only have to put a little bit. So then the yeast will activate its thing, and it's normal to add sugar, so yeah. Next, I'm just going to add a little bit of this yeast. Only 1 teaspoon of it. Teaspoon or tablespoon of it. It's pretty easy to follow. And I'm going to pour the milk first. And then I think I did add the yeast now, so I will add that. And yeah, this is the yeast. It's cool and it's fun. Just twirl it around for a bit so then it can do its work and its job. So yeah. Next is blending time. I'm gonna put this flour and everything in this KitchenAid mixer and then blend it. Most of the time was actually mixing it and trying to figure out if it's dry or wet the whole time. That's pretty much what you need this mixer for. You can do it by hand, but I prefer to use this. But it was pretty satisfying to see it all work out here. and just gonna add a little bit, mix it there, and yeah, enjoy. Next, I'm adding the mixture with the wet ingredients, with the yeast, the sugar, everything in the bowl right there, and just mix it and blend it. And you can put it on high, but I don't know why, but it kept on shaking and stuff, maybe because it wasn't locked properly. But this is actually my second time using the KitchenAid. It's not that hard, but it is sometimes hard to maneuver something that is new. And yeah, enjoy. And right there I added some oil just to help with the moisture. It just makes it a little more fluffy and nice, but don't put too much oil because then I think it makes the bread softer, which I learned earlier. So yeah. And this is a close-up of view of how it actually looks like. It looks like it's doing work. And also use the dough hook. So then I think this is only meant for making dough. There's like other hooks that are meant for each thing that you do with cooking. So yeah, just use that dough hook and then see it's whirling around. That means I think it was like dry. So I added a little more flour. I think I added it now. And then I mixed it, and then sort of like you keep on observing each time you take it off, take it on, and then sort of see what's happening with the dough. Then if it's nice and fluffy and it doesn't like fall apart when you like play with it, then that means it's good to go. And it's time for the moment you'll all be waiting for. It's to see if that dough actually looks good. I mean, to me, this angle looks great. But I don't know. I'll have to check and see what actually happens. It's time to put aside the machine and see how the dough actually looks. And turning it, taking it off, seeing if it needs a little bit of adjustment. So here you can see I'm dumping it. Yes, I'm using my hands, but I do wash my hands, so. And the dough looks good to me, but it feels like it needs a little more flour. It's more of a science experiment when you go back and forth to see if the dough actually is doing its job. So I think I went back to the machine. I don't know, I'll have to check and see what actually happened. And yes, I did end up going back to the machine and adding some flour. My sister actually helped me with this part because I hate dealing with the machine. I don't know. Just be careful not to put your hand inside of the machine for safety reasons. And the dough was sort of going all over the place. I don't know if that actually happens to you. And if you have any questions, leave it in the comments below. I'll try to answer them if I can. And also subscribe and like this video for more cooking content like this. Now that I'm putting flour here, adding some flour, my assistant helped me, and just taking out the dough out of its concoction. Just gonna let the dough sit there and then try to sort of knead it into its perness? I don't know. Try to knead the dough in its sort of form that want it to be doughy, nice and moisturized, but not too moisturized. And also remember not to put too much oil, it sort of ruins it. I think it made it softer, but if you wanted the bread to be a little more rough, it needs to be a little less oil, but probably more flour. And make sure when you do it, it doesn't sort of come apart, because then you know that it's still it's good, but it's not that great. But my assistant will roll it properly. I'm not that great at kneading, but I think I need a bit more time before I actually can master the art of kneading. It takes a long time, but it's totally worth it. My assistant here is kneading the dough, and so much better than my way, but hers is faster, but you know, kneading is not an actually easy process. It takes a lot of arm strength, surprisingly, because you're trying to make the dough into a form that is nice and smooth, because then that's really important on how your bread will actually turn out, depending on everything, depending on what you put, what you added. Not too much oil, but like just in the middle of it. But it is my first time, so it isn't going to be perfect, but we'll try to see what we can do. Now that it's done, we're actually gonna leave it out again. We're gonna leave it actually now for like, I think 2 hours, close to it. It was actually lunchtime, so like it was pretty close to it. So we're just gonna do it for an hour and a half. And yeah, this is how it's supposed to look. It's not actually its size, but then once it actually is double the size, it looks like this. It's pretty big, but we're actually supposed to leave it out for an extra like 15 minutes, but I actually left it out for like 2 hours. But here I'm just like shaping it, trying to see it was very fluffy and oily, and I don't know, that probably made it more softer than normally want my bread. But you know, it's my first time, but I didn't put too much pressure on myself because I just wanted to have fun making bread. Bread isn't easy, but it is sort of like a work of art. But because there was so much oil, it became really more softer than I actually wanted. So you can see I'm punching it here to sort of like take air out of the dough, so then it'll rise, I think. And then I do make like my assistant did cut it some so it can make like a bun, but that didn't turn out how I wanted it to be. So sometimes it's just a pass or a fail in the art of bread making. It isn't easy, but I try my best to knead it here in one hand. But it's sort of like a calming process. I mean, it just takes a lot of time and effort into making bread, and then we're gonna leave it for like 2 hours. I think we left it out for longer, and then put it in a room that is dark, but we just put it in the dry room. So I'm just making a incision here. I think it adds a nice touch to it, and then it makes it feel like more bread when you add this incision here. But it did have to redo it once it sort of like rised into its size, which is good and which is bad at the same time, but you know, just working here. Now it's almost time to bake. Make sure to preheat the oven to 370 degrees for 30 minutes. So then after that, you just have to wait. I think I didn't show you the bread actually risen, so I think that's fine. So here is the bread that's already risen. It took a while. So now I'm going to put an egg wash here just to make it a little more moisture. Then we're going to actually put it in the oven here with my gloves and mittens here. I think I took it out of the oven. I think that is the finished bread. I think I already put it in the oven, but yeah, this is the bread. It looks so pretty and beautiful. And yeah, that is today's video. And this is me biting the bun there. It was pretty good, and yeah, I think it turned out great. Maybe next time I'll try to make regular bread. But until then, this has been Cooking with Ruchi. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I had so much fun making it and making this bread. So yeah, see you guys later. Bye.